The sun had barely crept over the horizon when the sound of horses thundered down Main Street. Redemption Creek, a once peaceful frontier town, woke to the chaos of gunfire and screams. The Black Vultures, a ruthless gang led by the infamous Jeb "Snake Eyes" Carson, rode in like a storm with no mercy. Within minutes, they owned the town. The sheriff's office burned, the bank was stripped, and the townsfolk cowered in their homes, afraid to even breathe. Redemption Creek, once known for its gold mines and good-hearted people, had become a ghost town ruled by fear. Hidden behind the saloon's broken window, a man watched in silence. His name was Ethan Cole, a former deputy who had left the badge behind after a tragic mistake that cost his brother's life in a failed shootout years ago. He'd sworn never to raise a gun again, never to play hero, and never to stand for justice. But that morning, as he saw the Black Vultures drag the town's preacher into the street and gun him down just for sport, something inside him broke. He clenched his fists, his jaw tight, as if the ghosts of his past whispered, "You can't run from who you are." By sundown, the Outlaws had taken control of everything, the saloon, the bank, and even the sheriff's star, which Snake Eyes mockingly pinned on his vest. "This town belongs to the Vultures now," he sneered, his voice echoing through the dusty streets. "And anyone who don't like it can meet the devil at sunrise." The townsfolk obeyed, beaten down and terrified. Ethan couldn't sleep that night. He walked through the darkness to the cemetery on the hill where his brother's grave lay under a withered oak tree. "I tried to live quiet," he whispered, staring at the cross. "But peace don't come to men like me." A cold wind blew across the graves as if nature itself was listening. He knew what he had to do. The next morning, while the gang slept off their whiskey, Ethan went to the old blacksmith's shop. Dust covered every surface, but the tools were still there. He found his revolver, rusted but faithful, hidden under a pile of coal. He cleaned it, loaded 6 rounds, and tied it to his hip. As he looked at his reflection in a cracked mirror, he whispered, "You left me no choice." Before long, the townsfolk began whispering. Ethan Cole was arming up. Miss Clara, the saloon's owner, approached him in secret. "Ethan, they'll kill you." "There's 20 of them," he cut her off with a calm look. "Then I'll start with one." That night, under the blood-red sunset, the first shot rang out. Ethan ambushed 2 vultures near the livery stable, sending shockwaves of fear through the gang. By dawn, 3 more were gone, one by the church, one by the well, and another near the sheriff's office. Panic spread among them. Snake Eyes, furious and unhinged, gathered the survivors. "Find him. I don't care if you have to burn this whole town to the ground." But Ethan was no longer hiding. He became a shadow in the night, striking fast and disappearing like smoke. The people began to hope again. The butcher reopened his shop. The preacher's widow started ringing the church bell at sunrise. The wind carried whispers through Redemption Creek, "The law's back." As the town slowly began to breathe again, Snake Eyes set a trap. He kidnapped Miss Clara, the only person Ethan ever trusted, and sent a message nailed to the saloon door, "Come alone, or she dies." Ethan read the note, jaw set, eyes cold. He holstered his revolver, took a deep breath, and walked into the night, knowing this would be the battle that decided not just the town's fate, but his own redemption. The night was silent except for the soft rustle of wine through the canyon. Snake Eyes and his men waited at the abandoned silver mine on the edge of town. They had Clara tied to a post, her face streaked with dust and fear. The flickering lanterns cast long, menacing shadows across the rocky walls. "He'll come," Snake Eyes growled, spitting tobacco into the dirt. "Men like him can't resist playing hero. And when he does, we'll bury him next to his brother." From the ridge above, Ethan watched through the moonlight. He could see every gun, every position. He was outnumbered 15 to 1, but he'd stopped counting odds the moment they shot the preacher. He loaded his rifle, took a deep breath, and whispered a silent prayer, not for his own life, but for Redemption Creek. The first shot cracked through the night. One outlaw dropped, his rifle clattering against the rocks. The vultures scattered, shouting in confusion. Ethan moved like a ghost, firing from the shadows, each bullet precise, each step silent. Snake Eye's voice roared through the chaos, "Fan out. Find him." But it was too late. Ethan was already among them. He fought with the fury of a man who'd lost everything and had nothing left to fear. Bullets whizzed past him as he ducked behind crates and boulders, returning fire with deadly accuracy. One by one, the vultures fell, each name carved into Ethan's memory. The echoes of gunfire rolled across the canyon like thunder until only Snake Eyes remained. The outlaw leader dragged Clara to the edge of the mine shaft, pressing a revolver to her head. "Drop it, Cole," he shouted. Ethan stood there, revolver drawn, eyes steady. "You think you're the law?" Snake Eyes sneered. "You're just another killer." Ethan's gaze hardened. "Maybe. But at least I kill for something that matters." The final duel began. Snake Eyes fired first, his bullet grazed Ethan's shoulder, spinning him around. Ethan fell to one knee, his revolver trembling in his hand. But in that instant, he remembered his brother's words from years ago, "Justice ain't about the badge, Ethan. It's about the man who wears it." With one last breath, Ethan took aim and fired. The shot echoed through the canyon, and Snake Eyes stumbled backward, dead before he hit the ground. Clara rushed to Ethan's side as the first light of dawn painted the sky gold. He was bleeding, weak, but alive. "It's over," she whispered. Ethan looked at the rising sun, a faint smile on his lips. "No," he said softly. "It's just beginning." By morning, the people of Redemption Creek gathered in the square. The black vultures were gone. Ethan limped to the sheriff's office, picked up the burned star badge from the ashes, and pinned it to his chest. "This town's got a law again," he declared. The crowd erupted in cheers. Redemption Creek was free. And from that day on, whenever a stranger rode through the town, they'd hear stories of a man who stood alone against the darkness, a man who became the law when no one else would. Ethan Cole didn't just save Redemption Creek. He reminded the world that justice still had a heartbeat, even in the wildest corners of the West. If you love this story of courage and justice, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful Western tales. Your support helps us bring more legends like Ethan Cole to life, stories of bravery, redemption, and the untamed spirit of the wild